Game I casted last night, I think it finished at 3 AM their time in France.
Yep.
So, and they're actually going live, so...
We're actually going live, so 5, 4, 3, 2... Welcome everyone here to VanillaTV, where we're going to cast the epic grand final of the Gamers Assembly Lands being held in France at the moment, with the final being between some sort of an Epsilon esports mixed team on the red side and Viva la Vida, mixed team from all over Europe on the blue side. Going on to this first middle, we see an aggressive Epsilon, and with Pledge and Greg on the mics, this should be a good game.
Yeah, indeed. And we saw Epsilon roll through Valley on the first round there, just come straight through, and they, you know, picked up 5 kills without losing anybody, and what a good middle from them. I don't think Viva la saw the Valley push early enough. They jumped both their soldiers to the enemy train, and they went, oh, they've not gone through house. Oops, this isn't going to work, and then kind of got destroyed a little bit, and, you know, Epsilon capitalized on it all, and now they're taking Spy, going to be looking to push into last.
Yep, this should be a very easy push here, 100% versus 85. They lose Mitzi though, that's not going to help out. Was this actually the lineup yesterday with Mitzi on Soldier and Nox on Medic? I haven't checked.
Yes.
So apparently this is their complete lineup. I thought Mitzi was going to play Medic, he does not, but apparently he does not make a single change as, yeah, 1-0 now to Epsilon. Nox is the main caller for Epsilon, just for everyone who is wondering about that. In the regular Epsilon lineup with F2 on Medic and Nox on Soldier, Nox main calls quite a bit as well. So with him on Medic, those calls should not be different, and this team should be as organized as any.
Yes, indeed, and we are onto this middle yet again. Have Epsilon rolled out Valley? Yeah, they have. They've gone it twice in a row now. Let's see if the Viva la can counter it this time. They're playing a little more with defensively. Soldier jumps in onto Nox. Nice rocket ride onto the balcony, and then jumps off it. Can Nox get away? No. Pesca does manage to take him out. Really nice play there, while the rest of the Viva la are just kind of like pushing everyone off this middle point. What a middle from them.
Yep, very well played by Viva la Vida. We're actually getting confirmation on the 3 maps finally as admin Kara goes off the stage. We're going to play Badlands. Second map, Greg, is going to be Freight, and then the third map is going to be Snakewater.
Yeah, just what Thai was telling me. That's what I thought it would be. Some of the Epsilon players thought the second map would be Gully Wash, so they might not be prepared for this Freight here. As we do see Viva la trying to take Spire. They've lost, you know, they've lost the demo, they've lost a scout. It kind of means they've got to get all the way back. They've still got their Uber advantage though, so that's good play from them. They just need to now wait for Thai to get there, and they have to make this Uber count. I mean, Nox is going to be on 60-70% by the time. In fact, the Ski just Ubered through resupply now. They've not got their demo with them. They're not waiting for Thai. They're just going for it. They've got to get some frags. They've got nothing there in bottom lobby. They've got no time on Spire. They get the demo. That's a really, really crucial pick, but they're getting spammed in main door. What's going to happen here, Pledge?
I'm not sure. Thai doing a lot of pressure, but with just Randa going down, it's not 100% sure push though. Someone on last actually, Thai, just jumping across the main, completely circumventing any defense that Epsilon had set up for him. And Viva la Vida making it 1-0, and that's already better than the 5-0 wipe they got last night.
Yeah, indeed, and yesterday it came down to the kind of Randa versus Thai battle on middle, which is why Epsilon took it so easy, and so far Thai stepped up his game, especially with that cap. Epsilon not expecting that whatsoever. Thai on balcony this time, just spamming some pipes over, trying to get as much damage as possible. He's not being pressured too much. It's good. It means he can now go forward, which is what he's going to do. Scout's trying to defend against that bombing soldier who does come in onto Thai. Thai's really low in Valley now, does go down. That's not good for the Viva la, but they do manage to take down Shocky and Gear. Mitzi going to take down Pesca without Pesca taking anybody, but look at how defensive Epsilon are in that house, trying to keep Nox alive because of how aggressive Pesca went.
Yeah, I saw that play on Pesca over there. Did a standard jump onto the right crate, decided to drop back as he was low health, got the buff from Skeege, got the map back, jumped in at the moment that the ammo of the enemy team was low. Perfect timing there on the bump, and actually making sure that he puts everyone out of position. With Nox now using this Uber incredibly early, Skeege is
Jozo came behind through the valley, came up the ramp, and just 2 shots to the back of Nox. Nox has to pop. Really, really nice play from Jozo. He had a good game yesterday. Can he pull out in the final as we see Viva la just Uber in to make sure they're holding to that point? They were taking quite a lot of spam out that door. Good play from Mitsu, who's on 2 HP, does get their health back when he get out. Wow.
Barely. Is he stuck on the wrong side? I'm just looking. No, he's actually completely fine. I don't know what I was thinking.
Go down,
but, Mitzi does go down though. Yeah, he actually was on the back. And as we have Gear kind of standing around this haunted area with everyone from Epsilon. Viva la Vida is going to see if they can get something here, though. 6 against 5. Thigh goes down immediately, though. Randa's fire there is perfect. You want to do that as a demo man. You don't want to look at that bombing soldier. You really want to keep focusing on that choke point, get the early picks, and the damage output from Randa was so high that the scouts bash and Shocky came in there, cleaned everything up, and Epsilon's going to take this middle, yeah, kind of for free, as they still have Uber.
Yeah, indeed, and that was a pretty strange push from Viva la. They went in, lost their demo, okay, then Longas just charging, traded for the demo, so that means they're 2 players down, and they all were kind of staying at choke thinking they could hold on to it, and, you know, you've lost Longas, you lost Thigh. I'd say they're probably the 2 main damage dealers on your team, and without them you need to fall back, and as you can see, Bash and Shocky just came in behind and destroyed them, and they lost all 6 players there. Now they're going to have this uber disadvantage on last. Longas does take down Shocky, and he is kind of in behind, but the Uber is on last. Yep. Wow.
Well played by Viva la Vida, sending in 2 players very, very early. Don't know why they're committing like this, though. That feels a little bit off. Actually, Epsilon's doing a very good job. I thought they were going to be a little bit out of position, but they did fine, as Skeege just had nothing to actually work with his team. And Epsilon's going to take a 2-1 lead. Yeah,
like, the Viva la team were really out of position. That's 2 of them were in bottom lobby, 1 of them was in top, and the Uber was on last. Like, I thought I didn't really, you know, it's kind of a mixed team attitude as we are on middle. Rana not really doing very much on mid. He's taken so much damage, has to fall back into house. Does go down. What a bomb from Luzu, Gear and Randa. Can he go even bigger? There goes Mitzi. How far back? Bash is underneath. Will he get out? Yes, he will. How far back is Nox? He's in bottom lobby, so he does manage to get away. But what a bomb from Luzu, going massive on that middle.
Yep. I don't know if it was Pescanova's kind of making sure that no one was paying attention to Luzu, but Luzu coming in after the distraction and getting a lot of damage on taking down Randa and Gare, and that is all she wrote there on middle. And now Nox 90% Uber. It's going to be a little bit of a close call here, but it looks like, yes, he is going to get this Uber in time. We're going to have a proper 6 versus 6 defense. Uber's very early popped. Power doing a very good job, but the scout is still alive. Joseph now does go down. Skeege going down on the medic and Luza going down. I think Epsilon's going to be completely fine here as long as they defend this point properly. Let's see. Thigh is around with a buff. Yeah, Thigh's coming in from the side together with Scout. Point actually.
Oh my god.
Very well played. Devilman and a Scout on Badlands last is so valuable, Greg.
2 versus 5 and they cap the point. I'm sorry, Epsilon, but that is really, really poor play there. Nice stickies from Thigh, managed to keep the point clear as they do just drop Longas onto it. But here we are on yet another middle. Last one was kind of like the Pescanova bomb distracting everyone, then Luzu coming in. But here comes a Valley push from Epsilon. Randa in Valley as well. They're going to go straight underneath, I think, leading with Randa. Thigh takes down Gear straight away, but goes down to the Randa spam. Randa goes down thanks to a nice air shot from Luzu, or juggle and an air shot. Scout in behind. Soldier coming through shithouse. Viva la might have the positioning, but they're kind of getting caught out from this one shithouse position where the whole of the Epsilon team are. Like now, Epsilon are going to have to look to back out, but there goes Shocky. Oh. Just takes down Skeege in behind, and Viva la needs to pop bomb for Nox, but Nox is well defended at the moment. Although Drozo and Longas both picking up frags, they could still force Nox at the moment. Nox on 120, and his own shithouse, I think that is, or the enemy shithouse, I don't even know. Thai's trying to spam him, but Nox still like pretty high HP. He does manage to just back out, keep his Uber, and we'll see them cap middle.
To be honest, I love that play from Viva la Vida there. They saw Epsilon being stuck and they said, you know what, we're just going to go for the point, play it safe, and get the high ground. You're not going to be able to touch us. But they forgot about Shocky. The guy is a monster, absolute beast. At LAN or wherever he goes. As I say that though, hold that thought with 50%. Nox is only, yeah, he actually lost his Uber already here.
Just forced, yeah.
Very early force there on the side.
If I was in Nox's shoes there, I would have been really disappointed with that. Gear hit an amazing air shot on Pesca, but he still got forced because the other 3 players couldn't hit Pesca at all, so got forced out. Now they do cap Spire. Jozo's caught out in trash. What are you doing there? Like, you've got no positioning on Spire.
You just got caught out
going to go kill yourself. Yeah. They lost Thigh. They're going to come in bottom left here, Epsilon.
Build this
pushing
Uber.
Straight for the point.
Oh, they're not building this Uber anymore. 95% for Skeege. Is he going to get it in time? No, he does not. And oh, if that soldier just build on Luzu 1 extra rocket, your medic would have had that. But he stopped building, dropped on to the point, and Skeege, without that Uber, not being able to block the point. 3-2 right now for Epsilon. We got a close game in our hands though, and the middle so far have been deciding.
Yeah, they really have, but like how can you like lose your demo and a scout after Pesca's force there? I don't know. They should not have lost either of those players. It should have been fine on last, but we are in middle again. Gear jumps in, focuses Drozo straight down, knows he's low, one rocket. There goes Pesca as well after his bomb, and we're going to see Skeege dropping straight out. Is anybody going to go forwards? I'm watching Gear as he's coming out of Haunter now. One jump, one rocket, two rockets on the thigh. Oh, that first one was like perfect, just behind Thigh, pops him up in the air a little bit. Thigh couldn't move, and bang, air shot from Gear. That is how you take down a retreating demo man, and we'll see Epsilon want to push straight forward. Uber v Uber will be on last. They've got Spire already. They don't have the demo on last either, so this is what they want. They're going to try and get some cap time, but no, Luzu picking Gear out of the sky. Has the Uber been triggered from Nox though? It's been triggered in defense. No, that one soldier baited out the Uber. Great play, and here come the Epsilon with their Uber. Soldier in top right, demo in main. There goes Ty down. And it's not looking good at the moment from Viva la. Rana's just going to reset, go in top left now, but they've lost a couple of players. Both scouts on the flank. Drozo taking down both scouts. Wow, great play from him. And we'll see Epsilon fall back.
You can see the difference between like going all the way in and playing safe and just kind of playing as a mixed team. Look at the Ubers, for example. Nox Ubered about a full Uber later than Skeege, and they have the same percentage. Nox even has a little advantage. So right now, Viva la Vida is pushing onwards, kind of seeing if they can take advantage of anything, not knowing that they actually have a disadvantage. Look at, yeah, it's about 5% disadvantage. Not going to be game-changing, but still, you can see the difference between just a team that builds very solidly, has the mechanics right, and Viva la Vida, who are kind of still playing like a mixed team.
Yeah, indeed. But, like, I have to say that Uber push from Epsilon was really strange, losing both scouts on the flank as they came in, but they come in bottom right here. Just Uber the soldier of Gear in. Just they're gonna look. Gear's gonna go behind the point. They did this yesterday. Viva la got so distracted by the players behind the point, and Epsilon just came in and capped it. But it doesn't happen this time. Although Shockey's on the point. No, good play from Pesca. Spots it out. And look at all those players down for Epsilon. Bash with Nox. Where are they? They're on middle. Will Viva la push out early here? Let's see what happens. Last time when they were in this situation yesterday, they managed to push out a couple of times, but their scouts went way too early and died. Now it looks like Thigh is going too early and almost got taken down by Bash. Bash does go down to Thigh stickies in the end. Randa, really caught out position, goes down as well. Really nice play from Ty and Drozo there. And the soldier's going to get juggled into them. Oh, can he get a kill? No, Gear cannot kill Pesca there. Pesca on about 50 HP. One more shotgun would have done it. And let's see what Epsilon are going to do. They've only got 3 players left up. Epsilon, Shockey waiting in Valley, trying to get that scout. Trying to get a pick basically, but now he's really caught out, falling back on 58 HP. Will he die to some spam as he's falling? Here comes Thigh with a pipe. No hero pipe for him today. Oh, almost over the top though.
It was so close. I was actually watching that. It was so unbelievably close. Didn't manage to take him down though. And I gotta say, I love the play that Thigh is showing us so far. Now coming through the resub, he doesn't get distracted. He focuses on one target only, and spams it until it dies. And if it doesn't die, he just keeps on spamming. That's the way it goes, and that's how you're supposed to play as Delman, though. Now, coming from the side, though, you can see there's not a lot of good stuff going out of Viva la Vida at the moment. A lot of players are dropping. All of the players are dropping with just Pescanova life. He's going to be he's behind. Is he going to go for a backup? He's probably going to have to. He sees a soldier there. Welcome to MGE, ladies and gentlemen, where we have ×7 on mid. Very well played by Epsilon, just making sure. And 13 HP Gear. Surely enough, he should be going down to Pescanova's rocket at the moment. And no, actually, there we go. Does go taken down. Doesn't actually make a difference as Epsilon just keeps on pushing through. Pescanova still in the back, though.
Now Scout's going to get caught out, is he? No. Nice play. I don't know who that was. It must have been Stefan actually getting out of that. He tried to get some cap time on Spire and just fell out right on time as that demo jumped. Pesca eventually goes down behind, and that means that Epsilon can have a player advantage. Yeah, but now they've got a player advantage. They were waiting for that Uber. They were waiting for that spawning Gear anyway. That it didn't really, matter too much. He needed to die earlier in my books, really. And we'll see Epsilon show us how to do this reset push after Viva la messed it up last time. In fact, they're just going to back out after losing
sniping.
Shockey.
They can't really. I don't know if you spotted this, but Drozo is actually standing in the trash area as a sniper. They cannot actually push from that reset because they just display Nox completely. Drozo realizing that nothing's going to happen anymore.
Yeah, he's gone back to swap.
Yep.
He's gone back scout. That's a really, really wise decision after he knew Epsilon weren't going to be pushing. I love that. We'll see both scouts up for Viva la, just kind of checking behind. I think they think someone's in lobby, but I don't think anybody is after Shockey did go down in lobby. And we'll see an Epsilon push with Randa and Nox through choke. They trigger pretty early. Oh, Nox gets goes flying. They can't pick Randa in time though. Does manage to re-link up with him, and we'll see Epsilon just fall back, although Ski just managed to milk his Uber a little bit. Will they come in off the back of this? Gear goes down. Randa just trying to pressure through Choke, trying to stop Viva La pushing straight through, but they're going to want to push. They're looking like they want to go house. Yep, here they go. Both soldiers at house. They're going to leave their demo of Diet Choke.
I'm not sure, Greg. It's a little risky. Like, Skeege now only full health. Going to see if they can push anything through, but there's so many stickies, so many spam coming in. And I really did not like that angle that Viva La actually came in from, losing 4 players. And I will not be surprised if everyone appears to be dying, as Thai, only 30 HP, is standing in the main areas, 22-16. He is going to be able to get out of there alive, but knowing Thai, he's just going to jump in and suicide in just a second. And now he's actually...
Oh, he tried to get on the sign bottom right and failed the jump, unfortunately for him. So we'll just see him resup and get some stickies onto that point. Epsilon, they pushed bottom right. The past like 3 times they pushed in and it's working for them. So we'll probably see them do it yet again. Yep, they're heading towards it now. Soldier goes in, Gear straight away. They take down Pesca. Nice double rocket spam from Mitzi and from Gear. Pyro trying to do his best job, but it's so hard when they come in bottom left to do anything, and it's just going to be capped out. Oh, nice stickies from Thigh, but I don't think he can do much more. There goes Skis, just Thigh left up, 4 HP, goes down, and 4-2 to Epsilon. But, you know, Viva La are not down and out at all. Still 13 minutes, or 13 minutes 45 seconds left, so lots of time for them to bring this back.
About halfway through the map, 4-2 lead to Epsilon. Once again, this is the grand final. Epsilon coming from the upper bracket at the advantage of picking the first and third map. They chose Badlands, Snakewater, second map. Chosen by Viva la Vida is going to be great. Let's see, here we're going to go into the 7th minute of the game, where Shocky and Rand are doing work.
Did Shocky just go in alone and take down 2 players? I was watching Randa because they were doing this underneath Epsilon, the old the old Epsilon team strategy of going underneath with Randa through the valley and just getting some sticky spam onto the top. Shocky went through Shithouse, took down Drozo, and I think Gear jumped as well and helped him out. As like it's the kind of like Epsilon strat of Gear goes quickly and then they send a player through Shithouse and like get everyone down. Thigh above the point gets taken down during this Uber, and now we'll see if Viva La can take the right players down. They get 2 big picks. Now they need to make sure they take Randa and the scouts, but only 2 players left up. Skeege and a scout. That scout longer shouldn't have charged in really, but not much he could do. Effectively 1v4 is the only damage to them. 5-2 to Epsilon, making this look like a roll now.
5-2 after we had a 2-all score line. Let's see if Epsilon can push it through, or if Viva la Vida is actually going to be able to push it back. As we can see, Thigh rolling out towards the middle now. Both Devilman taking the map back, coming out. Quite possibly the same time. Neither of them is actually taking any damage. Soldier bombing comes in, and Thigh only on 14 HP. Now takes the map pack, is going to be able to do some damage again, and Viva la Vida, especially with Pescanova on the carry button there, going forward and killing as much people as he can, doing as much damage, and most importantly, forcing Epsilon as far back as he possibly can.
I think that for Epsilon, like, kind of lost that middle themselves, as we do see Viva La trying to take the spy with Randa on balcony, just trying to block it at the moment. They're going to have their Uber. I want to talk about that middle as soon as this fight is over, as the Uber is triggered, but they do get spy already. We see Luzu trying to bomb straight towards last. 88 HP in that bottom right position. He's going to get onto the soldier there. There's a scout behind him, I think, as well, and he does go down. Another soldier trying to get it, and they're just sacrificing way too many. You've got 11 minutes left. You don't need to just lose all those. You could have just capped Spire, but they lose Spire instead. Thigh's kind of caught out position. It's 3v4. Players all getting back spawn. Let's see how Epsilon decide to push forward with this, whether they'll just take choke or whether they'll try and get onto middle.
Skidge is only now spawning. Nox already on 60% Uber. Very, very big advantage here in favour of Epsilon. Let's see how Epsilon is going to push this. Obviously, Uber versus no Uber is a lot easier than Uber versus Uber. But I presume they're going to go from house entries. It just seems a very solid way to spread out your soldiers across that middle. A little bit of a back gap going on, but it's not that much of a back gap as long as just going in and forcing some time for his team. Look at the buffs that I like what Skage is doing. He's buffing his team as much as he possibly can just before Epsilon comes in. Epsilon doing the exact same thing, well played by Nox, and we can see, this is what I was talking about. The soldiers spread out across that middle as fast as they possibly can, so they avoid splash damage. I think Thigh is actually going to get caught out. No, he manages to get out of there alive. We have 100% now for Skeet. 6 players up. Greg, what's happening?
Longas went in there, you know, to try and, in theory, go behind and waste time, but he just got destroyed. If he had stayed alive, they could have bombed a soldier in to force the Uber as they came in, and they would have had an Uber advantage pushing into middle, because they would have had that Uber up in time. When Epsilon pushed into middle, Skeet was on 80%, okay? If they had forced Nox through the door, they would have been able to Uber back into middle and retake it or hold the point. Instead, because Epsilon didn't Uber, it's not worth Skeej and, you know, the Viva la team coming back in, and it's kind of all down to that one play from Longas. And we're going to see what happens here as it is Uber v Uber, and, you know, Epsilon just taking their time. They don't need to rush this, and they're forcing Viva la to come into them now. Here they come, leading with Thigh, and there's the Uber trigger. Now they need to get out of there. Thigh kind of get trapped, but no, nice jump away. Jozo gets stuck in. Skeej falling out of houses, both his soldiers. Player advantage for Epsilon. We'll see them just push forward and use it as much as they can.
It's a reasonable exchange though, Greg. I mean, you got to look at this. Look at this from Viva la Vida. They're not going to dislike this change at all. Especially Thigh. Oh, Thigh actually gets taken. He kills himself there on the sticky. Trying to jump in, but he got a little bit of damage of gear before he tries to jump in. And Epsilon is going to take that opportunity and say, you know what, we're going to go in. 60 HP from 60 HP on Nox alone against that scout. Soldier now comes in. 50 HP on Nox does finally get taken down, but at what cost? Suiciding in 3 players to take down a medic is not going to be good, as everyone from Epsilon is going to bomb into last here.
I love that timing from Randa there on that Spire, as we do see Epsilon just come forward, take a run down. I want to talk about that. It was 4v4, and they didn't have that demo up, so no stickies at choke, and, like, the Viva la team were trying to hold choke still, and they couldn't really get away with it. Randa knew they were there, and instead of, like, going into them just trying to do damage, he jumped onto Spire, and then just rained stickies down, forcing players to look away and turn around, and then they just came through choke and just destroyed the 2 players at choke, and the easiest point in the world for them now. And we're just going to see yet another middle at 6-2 to Epsilon. They could just make this a roll at the moment and, you know, force their dominance here, as we see both soldiers on the point along with a scout. Luzu does take down gear on that point, though Bash gets one in return on Drozo, and Pescado's down, but Randa is not up anymore. There goes Shocky, and I think Viva la should be able to take this as long as they make sure Bash dies. Nah, Nox is well out of there, so they're not even gonna contest for this anyway, and Bash just like seeing what's going on in Valley.
Oh, he almost got that pipe as well. See, is Mitzi going to do anything? It looks like he's losing a little bit of health. Now he's just building Uber. As Epsilon, are they going to hold choke? It might be a little bit greedy here for Epsilon to actually hold this already. Let's see now. FIFA is actually taking it very easy, so a little bit of a stalemate situation before the Ubers are going to commence in just a second here. Viva la Vida is going to have to be in a bit of a hurry here, Greg.
Yeah, for sure. It's 7 minutes 30 left on the clock. They're 4 rounds down. They're going to need to look to... I would possibly try and do something with the scouts in Valley, send Pesca on Warden and see if you can do anything. And then if nothing happens there, just send Pesca out of Haunter and force the Uber. Yeah. Epsilon are going to be loving sitting here and wasting clock. They need to do something. They need to either just go through with their Uber, or they need to send someone in and force. In fact, look how many players Epsilon are committing to house at the moment, and Viva are not sending any soldiers in there yet. If they sent both soldiers, they possibly would have been able to get a pick, and that's what they needed. But instead, they're still wasting time, and it's been 30 seconds of this equal Uber, 30 seconds worth of time where they could have been building another Uber instead. Luzu jumps in, did he manage to force? No, he didn't, and now Epsilon are going to waste another, 20 seconds worth of time here, waiting for Luzu to respawn and get back. They're not going to push, they're going to be quite happy being 6-2 up, 6 minutes 30 left on the clock, so...
No. Epsilon just kind of sitting. They're fine with it. We see Mitzi kind of just looking and being like, yeah, we're fine.
It looks like Viva don't have any ideas of how they want to push through this at all. They've tried a resup push before in Uber v Uber, didn't work out for them. Now they just tried a bombing soldier, didn't work out for them. They kind of need to try and find a pick anywhere, and if they can't, in fact, both soldiers from Epsilon come into house, take down Luzu, and that's what I was saying. Epsilon love doing that, and it's inexperience of playing against them is this team. Like if they had sent both their soldiers in there, they possibly would have got a kill. But instead they lose their own soldier. Now they've got to wait another 20 seconds before they can do anything. And look at this, Epsilon are actually going to push through choke and just force the issue, force the Uber, and then probably just back out. There's the Uber force. Soldier jumps onto Spire. Skee's kind of stuck out. Pesca's on 120 on Spire, jumps back now. Going to go for Randa, goes straight down. Leon's himself. Randa pretty low though. Let's see if Viva can push through. They do lose Skeej. It's 3v3 now though. Longas on 1 HP. Still, they've got a player advantage now. Nox and Randa are the only 2 up, and they're going to fall back to last here. They don't know the HPs, and they'll just... Oh, in fact, maybe not. Randa's going to spam up.
If ran the new DHBs, he would have been there a long time ago. Point gets capped though. Where's that soldier? Yeah, Liz actually managed to retreat out of there. I thought he was somewhere behind, maybe trying to assassinate Nox. It's not going to happen though. Epsilon just safely going to be here on last. They do have an Uber advantage. I'm kind of feeling that Viva should just try to push this without an Uber against no Uber. To just kind of force it.
The first thing I saw, like straight away, you know, first thing I thought of is Viva la need an off class. So they've gone with Longas and Spy. Longas is definitely a good spy. I would say that if I was them, I wouldn't go for Longas getting the kill, although actually Nox has Uber now, so I'll take that back completely. I would have gone for a non-Uber push if Nox was like still at 80, and just put Longas onto the point and try to get cap time, because that would have been like a cheap, easy cap. But instead he went for the medic because Nox had Uber. Like, that's fine because Nox had Uber. But if it was still, you know, non-Uber, I would have done that instead. Now they've got to wait for Longas to get back before they can push. It's all this like wasting of time from the Viva la team at the moment, and we'll just have to see what they actually do. They're just gonna possibly have to go in balls deep with 6 players. You know, press that Uber button, get in, and hope you win the DM fight. That's what you need to do. And actually, Luzu trying to jump the point, doesn't manage to get onto it in time. Gets on it now, gets a lot of cap time. Uber in return now from Nox. Let's see what Epsilon.
Everyone from Epsilon is out of position though, Greg. Like, they're all standing on the floor. It's not really an ideal situation. If there's any way Thai can actually get in here to fight, because no, Thai's actually all the way. Now he comes in after all his players have died. That's not going to help him out as much. But the push is going to commence. Thai's going to try and commit here. Skeej! Is Skeej going to run the point himself? I think he could have done that, but now Skeej and Thai behind the point. Thai going down. Skeej going to try and seeing if he can make anything working.
They're both low. Skeej could actually take this if he just goes for it, but no, he ends up getting taken down by Bash.
Doesn't know the health.
He should have just run onto that point. I'm sorry, but you're going to die anyway. Look how close it was to being capped. Like, you got to just risk it. And
when Thai was behind the point, he could have just leg it.
Yeah, I agree as well.
Yeah.
But now we'll see what they actually decide to do here. They've got to go non-Uber. Got to go. 3 minutes 26 left. They've got to go now. And look how far back they defend. Like,
they've given up. Like, I mean, they're taking too long now. It is almost theoretically impossible now, but because it's almost let's say it's a minute per cap. That means that they have to cap it within 10 seconds, and it can be a little bit lower, but theoretically it's not really possible anymore. They should have pushed by now. They have not done it, and I think they're kind of just giving up on this map and saying, you know what, let's focus on Frey, that is our map choice, and then kind of hope for a miracle on Snakewater, really.
Well, I want to talk about that Uber push quickly as well. When they had the full Uber, they didn't go balls deep. Thai and Skeej and one of their scouts were building on the right stairs. Like, they all went in, Uber v Uber. 3 players went in. Players were still fighting, and I clicked through, saw Thai, one of their scouts, and Skeej on the right stairs, like pretty much in bottom lobby, instead of being in. And now here comes the Uber again. They're just going to back out. They're not going to go for it. They'll probably re-push this through main. Nope.
They're going to need to go now. They're going to need to go now. Uber has dropped out. Soldier in from top. Down many from main is usually very valid. Soldier comes in from bottom, though. One soldier in from top. Pescanova immediately goes down. And for some reason, Viva is just dropping out.
Okay, well, now they've, you know, I'm gonna have to say it's good game. Epsilon have won, but if you're in Viva La's shoes now, okay, you've lost this map 6-2. It's not been the worst map in the world. It's not been better than yesterday. So you gotta try and take any positives you can out of it. And sitting here containing Epsilon on last is still a positive. Okay, they're not letting Epsilon push out. Right, so they are still just refreshing, they're recycling, getting their comms back together, getting everyone back in the mood for Freight. Like, so they're just getting everyone's heads in the game for the next map, just trying to make sure, because this is a LAN final, guys.
Pescanova sniping from main as well. Kind of just, you know, maybe he gets a hero pick. Uber does pop off though. Pops off for Epsilon as well. Gear is a little bit weak. See the sniper coming in from main. Bash gets taken down. Great shot by Pescanova. Thai goes down though, and that should probably put the nail in the coffin here as Epsilon is going to grab the frags. Well, Pescanova getting a second frag on Mitzi now. Is he going to get a third or a fourth? Who knows what's going to happen as Pescanova shows up in main. Is he there? Should have been. No, he gets actually taken down by Gear. Well played to him. With about a minute left, though, this game is over. We're just going to have to wait what the official scoreline is, though.
Yeah, so, for those of you that have never, like, you know, you've not been to LAN or you've not been in this situation, like, they're going to be surrounded by a crowd. It's going to be so loud. They're going to make sure they're just, like, in their, like, the right mood to play TF2. It's not going to be anywhere near what they normally play like these players. Epsilon are going to be used to it. This is the first map for the Viva la team in a LAN final. They've done decently. Now they need to just push forward onto their own map, Freight, and make sure they go forward and take that map, and then, as you say, hope for a miracle on Epsilon's second map choice, which was Snakewater.
I'm just looking through if anyone's playing any work classes. Doesn't look like it. They're just going to finish the map in a random, well, kind of a very solid way of playing. Epsilon's going to possibly grab the middle. Doesn't actually matter anymore, as the first map has finished there. CP Badlands, first map of the Gamers Assembly Grand Final over there in France, which is being won by Epsilon, the first map, 6-2 against Viva la Vida, mixed team from all over Europe. As, yeah, I think Viva la Vida had a good showing here, I gotta say, Greg.
Yeah, I totally agree, and as someone just pointed out to me in on my Steam chat, he said Viva la Vida, of course they're the underdogs here, like, so they don't have any pressure on their shoulders whatsoever. They just, like, they got to where they needed to get. The game that they needed to win was the previous one, the really close lower bracket consolation final. That's what they needed to win. So they got no, like, pressure on their shoulders now. They just need to go into this next map, like, and just, like, take any ounce of energy they can from the crowd. So they need to win a fight. So if they win middle, just take anything that the crowd give them. Like, being the underdogs, you know, anything you get, any extra motivation, motivate your own players, just, like, helps you take it, you know, take the map, take a round, take a point, take a 1v1. Any motivation you get from the crowd, it's so useful, because of the fact that they in turn are going to be demotivating Epsilon. So if anything goes well for the Viva la Vida team, you get this massive, you know, exaltation from the team. But the other team, the team that should be winning, will, like, they'll have the crowd will be against them anyway. So anything that goes well for the underdogs is going to be, like, triple on top, like, for the Epsilon team compared to what they're used to. So you just got to make sure that anything you do well, you just keep pressuring with it, but don't overextend. And that's how they're going to, like, go and take this being the underdogs. Like, it's so different in this environment, and it, you know, it adds so much more to the game. And, like, I've been in underdog finals before, and there's so many different things you can take from the you know, the situation you're in, and most of all, the pressure is something you've got to, you know, like, maintain. If you pressure the other team, they're going to feel even more pressure just because of the fact that they should be winning. I mean, it was 2-2 for so long of that game, and you could see it in Epsilon's play that they were not happy. They were like, they were really dodgy. They were like, oh god, we should be winning this, we should be winning this, what's going on, what's going on? And, like, one of the middles, like, one of the things I was trying to point out was, like, Shocky went through Shithouse a couple of times and it wasn't working. And he went through Shithouse and it worked, and then he was like, okay, well, it's worked that time, I'm now going to try something different because I'm thinking it's not, you know, it's not going to work this time. And it didn't work for them at all, and that in itself is, like, motivation. Is going to be forcing him to try and do something different that's not working. And as long as they keep, like, playing as a kind of coordinated team, I know it's a mixed team, so it's so hard to do that, but they just need to, you know, make sure they play any advantage they can get, and that's just not just advantage you get through playing, you know, winning fights and playing the game.
Yeah. So after that speech, I'm glad that is actually in the vault. I wouldn't want to miss that. So thanks everyone here for joining us at VanillaTV. This was the first map of the grand final of the Gamers Assembly. We're going into the second map, CP Freight. Can Viva la Vida get it back, or is Epsilon going to close?